It's Tuesday, January 29th, 2014, and now that we've had our second snowstorm of the year, and it's actually still snowing. I'm not sure if you can see the snowflakes in the camera there. It's very, very light. And currently it's about 16 degrees. I've not ventured out yet, and I want to see how this truck is going to do. This is the 95 Ford F-250 that you guys saw a couple of weeks ago. And I'm walking down here in the driveway, got my ruler, and we'll see how many inches of snow I got. Looks like about maybe 5.5 at that point right there. So we'll go ahead and venture out. You can kind of see just how much near that car. Go ahead and venture out with the truck here and do a cold start on it. Get it warmed up and then get the windshield all clear. First thing I want to do before I forget is to go ahead and block the hubs. These are the mile marker 449 SS hubs. Wow, this thing's buried kind of deep here. Especially toward the back. See if we can see if putting in some of that graphite lock fluid this past summer paid off. Yep, no problem. Alright, let's go ahead and crank her over. I don't expect this to be too eventful. I've got a big ass Odyssey battery in here and it's fuel injected. Got good voltage. Starts right up, which is good. And we'll go ahead and get some heat going on. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and clean everything off and try to pull this thing out of here. Man, I have not seen conditions like this since the blizzard of 1980. But I'm definitely putting the four-wheel drive to good use, as well as testing out these tires and everything. Looks like I'm not the first one to be out on this road. And if you notice there, I've got the transmission set to second gear. And that's because, at least how I drive in the snow, which is not very often, I live in a coastal region, I try to use the transmission as a brake. I just want to have all the odds stacked in my favor as best I can. That way I don't have to use the brake pedal all that much at all, which is a good way to avoid a skid. This is good practice for my winter driving skills, as I don't really get to drive too much in the snow. And I'm sure my skills could use a lot of practice. Having ditches on either side of me is really good motivation not to make any mistakes. So how I drive in the snow is I basically just use one input at a time, either the steering or the brake or the gas or the transmission, instead of multiple inputs at the same time, and just I try to keep a very slow, steady pace. And here comes the most dangerous part about driving in the winter, is cars coming in the opposite direction, because we're not able to pull over very well. It's hard to determine where the right side of the road is, where the road begins and the ditch begins. So we got a stop sign coming up. I'm going to go ahead and drop it down into first. You can see how quickly we slow down without even touching the brake. Way before the intersection here. And I'm going to go ahead and make my turn. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and bump it up into second. And now we're ready to keep on going. Really beautiful out here. Dangerous, but beautiful. Just want to take it nice and slow. I'm hardly even reaching 20 miles an hour. I'd rather be slow than end up in a ditch, because even with a four-wheel drive vehicle like this one, or if you have a Chevy or a Dodge, you can still get yourself in big trouble if you're not very careful. Well, the truck is back safe and sound, and the drive was pretty much uneventful. Slipped and slid a little bit, but that was to be expected with snow this deep. You can kind of tell, hopefully, there's not much contrast, but pretty deep for me anyway, out here near the coast. And I'm really glad that I bought these kinds of tires when I did. I did make a video about these tires specifically about a year ago, or maybe a few months back. And these are the General Grabber AT2s, all-terrain tires. And one of the things, or one of the reasons why I bought them, is because they're mud and snow rated. They actually have the snow symbol inside the little mountain here, which means that these tires have actually been certified for severe winter conditions. So even though these aren't dedicated winter tires, they're the next best thing, and they act as a really good compromise for the majority of the time, being off, either driving off-road on dirt and everything during the summertime, or in this case, the wintertime. And the tread appears to have done a very good job of self-cleaning. It's not, this tread doesn't seem to have loaded itself up and packed with snow and everything, so that's one of the advantages this tire has for the traction, because even though this truck is a four-wheel drive, it would be very easy to get this thing stuck in the snow if I had regular highway tires on here. It would still be better than a two-wheel drive, but I kind of wanted to stack the odds in my favor and go with manual locking hubs, as well as the all-terrain tires that still remain nice and soft. You can see when the temperature gets below freezing out here. So overall, this truck did pretty good, and I feel pretty confident I can drive it again if I had to. And I also got to practice a little bit of my winter driving skills, which definitely needed some extra practice.